everywhere. GBS.
The program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewers, welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. I'm your host, Eunice Mugo. Today on the show, we are going to talk about financial literacy and debt management. How do you manage your debts? How well informed are you about finances, money? This is one of the most critical things and issues that we face in our current society. We are incurring a lot of debts, we are incurring a lot of enmity simply because of money issues. So take notes. Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 244. I'm not alone on the show. I have guests who are going to help us to understand more about this topic. I'll allow them to introduce themselves. Welcome, guest. Starting with you, gentlemen.
Thank you. My name is Gitonga Murithi, the General Manager Mwananchi Credit, and I'm happy to be here with you. Asante.
Thank you. Welcome on the show, madam.
Hello, my name's Jennifer Mumbe. I'm a journalist, and thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here with you today.
Welcome on show. So today we are talking about financial literacy and debt management. Maybe starting with you, Mr. Gitonga. From where you're seated as the General Manager for the Mwananchi Credit, it being a company that deals with finances and what you're talking about today, what can you say about this issue of financial literacy? What do we need to know? What do we need to understand?
Thank you, Eunice. And actually, how the financial literacy is divided is in, I'll call them 4 facets. We actually need money, one, for general survival to spend. There's the bit of savings. There's also giving. We donate a lot. You have to, support 1 or 2 other 3 people, or any other give out facility. And now there's one of the most, I would call it the post-COVID issue, that is tax. Even in the government scenario, there's quite a lot of taxation being talked about. And in a matter of, I would say, months, everyone will be concerned as far as taxation is concerned. So when we talk about financial literacy, is ideally how do you manage the money that you have so that you can live, for lack of a better word, a peaceful, you can have some peaceful memories in terms of how your day-to-day planning of your life is concerned, which is a very crucial, and lack of it is actually called financial illiteracy, because you don't know. And if you don't know, you'll make very many mistakes. You'll borrow anyhowly, you'll spend anyhowly, and you'll end up getting frustrated, which again, lack of financial literacy. If you look at the normal health numbers, about 75% of mental illnesses and challenges are actually caused because of lack of financial literacy. So it's a big issue, which needs, to be discussed in every corner, whether it's a church, a mosque, every family environment, every setup in the workplace. Financial literacy has to be taken seriously from where we are headed, especially with the economic times that we are in.
True, and I'm so glad that you're here to talk about this. Maybe just to dwell on you for a little while. How long have you been in this business, and what is keeping you going?
Ours, and I as Gitonga, is actually, if you look at the Mwananchi brand, it's actually support. We support individuals, we support businesses, we support the way of life of Kenyans. And we do that through, helping Kenyans financially. That's why we actually, our main take home is usually Mwananchi Credit, investor in people. So we want to see you grow, We want to see you come up, yeah, in different ways, whether it's in education, whether it's in your business, whether it's in investments, whether it's, you know, any challenge that you have in as far as money is concerned. We are usually there to support you in a big way. So that's what keeps us going, the support we give. Every day we wake up energized to see our clients, you know, grow better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Coming to you, Jennifer, with the financial literacy, how well would you say as an individual or as a family, being a family person, how well would you say from where you're seated about how you're good in managing your finances and all that?
Well, truthfully and frankly speaking, we could be able to say personally that this is a journey. You learn from mistakes. At first, before you begin to master this field, this is a very sensitive field because primarily we all need finances in our day-to-day. So you need to be able to be wise on how to be able to fish in, get money, and to be able to manage that money. Why? Because now if you don't have the right literacy in this area, you can end up making a big time mistake that by the time you come back, it can affect you in many ways, in ways you did not even know, in ways you did not know, even diverse ways, even affect your family, even affect your career, affect much about you, because now it can even be big to an extent where even your friends will have to know, and you know those things that you are hiding and you don't know people to know, now they come out. Why? Because of this area. So when I look at this area, you need money day to day. Why do you need this money? Whatever you are dealing with, for example, you realize you could have a neighbor maybe, and you saw them, they had a very good car, and you say, I would like that car. Then what do you think? I can pick a loan for that car. Was it necessary? Were you comfortable? Is it within your means? Did you have to take it? So this is a proper mindset that you need to set upon yourselves by the time you take a step. Do you need it? Is it going to benefit you? Are you going to be comfortable? And as you say, for the lack of a better word, are you going to be peaceful with it, or is it going to give you problems? Will this also end up causing a turmoil in your life? And maybe at the end of it all, how will you be able to pay back what you have taken? How are the interests? Are they high? Are they low? Are they manageable to you? How is your income? How is your diversity of your income and, you know, your savings and every single thing? Are you comfortable with it? Whereby if it's an interest of a shilling, I'm comfortable with shilling. If it is 2 shillings, I can say proudly, guys, you know what? This is not for me right now. I can be able to manage and even take it. Or can I even do it without the loan? Or without just be able to use that money? So it is managing finances wisely according to the needs you have, and also having discipline and being able to cut your desires. You don't have to get everything you get just because it's available. You have to be disciplined because you know your goals, you know your needs, you know your field, you know your family, you know every single thing you need. So you have to be disciplined because you know, if I tamper here, just in front there, I'm gonna have to pay for this mistake I have done here. So you have to be keen in your journey to finance, to be able at least to capture and to know very well, so that also you don't end up burdening people, burdening family. Because now when you enter into crisis, what will you do? You'll call somebody, oh, help me with this amount of money. I want it by this day. What does that happen? Even it affects your friendship with other people. They give you, by that day you don't have. You just wanted to cover up a hole right now, but you know very well by that day it's just a 50-50. You're not even sure. So this can end up affecting you even so badly to an extent whereby even it can make you even lose your dignity, your integrity. So even lose your peace and your sanity, hide, go, you know, change even location. So for you to be able also to manage in this area as financial literacy, it's a very important topic that the society should know, from Mama Mboga to the housewife, to all creditors, everybody. They should know about this so that we can all have disciplines as to how to be able to handle finances. And when you are taking in finances, to be able to be sure that you need them. And when you need them, are they giving you back the return that you need so that you can be able to pay back? That now will be peaceful, that will be comfortable. There are those who make it because they manage well. Of course, they also learn from a mistake. But there are those who take it because others took it, and then they end up even in a deeper hole. So this is quite a sensitive field that we need to really master well, and to need to be disciplined concerning it, and to be very sober whenever you are making a decision pertaining finances, to be sober, to be disciplined, to be focused, to be able to make a decision that you know very well you can be able to go with it peacefully and journey with it and be able to recover, even go to a higher level with the decision you made from just one level to another.
Thank you so much for that. I'm glad that you're already well managed and planned when it comes to finances. So coming to you, Mr. Gitonga,
Yes.
Gitonga, you've mentioned about investment in people. That is what drives you. So I want to know, what factors do you consider while wanting to invest or looking for to this person want to invest in us, this person or these people want to merge with us? What do you consider and what factors do you look into?
First, we look at the financial position of this person. People will come with different needs. Some will come, just to borrow money to spend anyhowly. So we work with you a journey, and first, we usually want to understand, do you even have a budget for this particular money you want to borrow? If it's a business you want to start, for example, have you done proper market research? And Mwananchi is usually very, I would say, supportive in assisting you in whichever business you're doing. Some would want to get into the transport business, others want to just open a retail shop, others, we've had quite a number of Kenyans also coming back to the country with very good business ideas, but because the market research and the aspect has not been done, and we're in a very, I would call it a segregative world. So people are ready, waiting to con you. Yeah. So Mwananchi always makes sure that they support you on market research, first of all, especially if you don't have an outline of exactly what you want to do. In any business, we've invested quite heavily in making sure that we've got various verticals. We actually have a whole department which takes time to understand and support you. There's some also want to pump more money. So we'll go in and look at your audited finances. How has been your previous 6 months? How has been your previous 6 months been? Have you been making profits? Where have you? So that once we give you this money, you don't just dip it into a bottomless hole. The other bit we do is to forecast. And by forecasting, I mean, once we lend you money, we expect you to pay us back. And there's some interest attached to it. So we wouldn't want, the guide to be misleading. So the other bit is to make sure that if we are lending you money, there's that support to make sure that you have the ability to pay back. We also have the normal survival, I would call loans. People want a weekend loan. Things have been very tight for the week. Again, we would want to know so that it doesn't become a habit. Are you borrowing because you want to pay a debt elsewhere? Or, what exactly do you need that money? So we take time to really work with the client on a need-based aspect. And once we understand the needs of our clients, it becomes very, very easy to support you. That's why actually they keep coming back. Because you borrow today, you invest in, let's say in a branch. We've got quite a number of our clients who've opened supermarkets within Nairobi, various areas. And Mwananchi has supported them. Once you open one, how do we assist you monitor performance, your profitability, payback, and you expand the same. So the biggest is on exactly what are your needs, and Mwananchi is usually very ready to support you to move a step ahead, so that you're able to meet in the middle. And everything is actually surrounded by budgeting. We don't want to give you money which you've not budgeted for, because the minute we give you that money, the next thing you'll find yourself, and it has happened, you're in a bar somewhere. I've seen, we've given people money.
Wasting it.
You've been given 1 million shillings. You're saying, Mwananchi has given me 1 million bob. Now let me go entertain my friends. So today you spend 30, 40,000 buying whiskey. Already you are 940 down. Tomorrow you go to a church function, you're in a chamal. By the time you realize, you are at 600 out of the 1 million. You had a budget of starting a business and your figures were very well, articulated. You need to invest 900, you're already at 600. Already psychologically, you're confused. So the next thing you realize, your mom at home is unwell, you need to send her 100K, school fees knocks in. By the time you realize, the million shillings is gone.
Wait, we're in that space.
Yeah.
This is very serious, actually. We might laugh at it, but it's very serious. It happens a lot. Even maybe saying for these, we say gambling is addictive.
Yes.
But we end up, it's an addiction because, if I clear here 10 shillings, I'll get 50 shillings. So that 50 shillings will go somewhere else, or I'll do something else. But now that you've mentioned removing the bit small, you realize you're at 6. Then there's your mom, and you're like, how disciplined are we supposed to be? That is the question. How disciplined are we supposed to be for me now not to take the small chunks to an extent of my mom is sick, my husband is sick, my kid is sick, and I've purposed to do this and still maintain that? Or do we draw a line somewhere and say, when it comes to family, I think this one can pass? But again, when you are coming to pay back and when Mwananchi is coming to check if I've been doing what we had agreed on, they don't want to know. Or do you want to know that I spend it with my family, my parents, my kids or something? Help me to understand that, and also our viewers on the same.
Yeah, okay. When it comes to budgeting, especially where it concerns us, of course you need to be honest with us. What exactly do you need the money for? We've had clients who come and tell us that I have a sick parent or I have a sick kid, and we actually assist. Also, we go an extra mile to assist in even, getting some health plan for it, because some of these things are already foreseen. They're not like accidents. But we have situations whereby an accident happens and Mwananchi has disbursed some money to you. Yeah. So what we usually advise some of these clients is come back to us. Tell us, you gave me some money, this was the budget, and this has happened. All of a sudden, I need your support, or what's your advice? And one thing about, we always, personally, I prefer dealing with Kenyans in one way. Kenyans, if you give them an opportunity to share with you, for them to share with you their challenges, they're actually very open. Yeah. So most of them they won't go silent. There are other places where we've worked and people are very silent on their trouble. So they'll tell you, yesterday my son or daughter or my wife or my husband had an accident. And, we're in this situation. I may not be able to repay the installment on time. What do we do? Those are the solutions now we start working with our clients. First, we can give you a moratorium, just some space to, a month or two. And meanwhile, depending on the the extent of the injuries, or we're talking about an accident or some illness, we advise you through our agency. We have a support agency, more like an insurance agency, which is supposed to work with our clients in times when they're in trouble. We've taken your car as collateral. It has an accident tomorrow, and you come back and tell us, yeah, my car had an accident tomorrow, but this is what I used to get money. It was maybe you are doing business with it or something. It was just a collateral. What do we do? Again, we give you support based on that. We assist you, come back to your footing as quickly as possible. And it has worked. And I would say 95% pick it positively. Of course, we have some elements. There's also the bit of diverting money to other issues. Of course, there are some situations whereby you can't help. Yeah, somebody just decided to go gambling. And it has happened quite a number of times. But again, we try as much as possible to work with you and enlighten you, especially when it comes to the investment aspect, because it's one of the biggest verticals of financial literacy, investing. You can, yesterday I was dealing with retirees. Yeah, people, some were retrenched, others retired, and we were just having a session. Where do I put my money? I tell them, if you don't have an immediate plan with your money, and we are talking about 7, 8 million, you've worked for 9, 10, 15 years, take it even to treasury bonds. Yeah, put it in a government facility which you're guaranteed within 6 months or 1 year. You'll be guaranteed of an 11%. Your money won't get lost. Otherwise, don't get into some of these, I would say, amorphous investment plans, which within a month or two, 6 months, your money is gone and you're scattered all over. So investing is one of the key, I would say, handholds when it comes to financial literacy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that is, well, quite a lot of information from you people. And, well, we have a lot to learn. Jennifer, maybe from where you're seated, would you say when it comes to investment that you have to sit, you have a plan to see this is what I want to do? Or are you where you say, now when it comes to family, as a mother, we are the people who are so sensitive, so emotional. You see, you'll say, this one has to go this side for the sake of family. Or are you the person who say discipline is discipline? I've had people who say, if I've said this money is for fun, whether we're sleeping hungry or not, it's for fun, so I'll buy fun. And at times you'd feel this person is not prioritizing things. So where would you say in terms of discipline, where would you say you are? Are you the kind of person where you say, this one is for rent, whether we are sleeping hungry or not, it's rent. This one is for this, where you're sick or not, it's for that. What would you say at a personal level, where are you at when it comes to discipline in finances?
Well, I admire those who have reached the peak of it. I'm in the journey because that is my biggest weakness. I cannot be able to see just a situation passing and I just ignore immediately, like even if I hold it, my peace and my instincts will not let me be. So you'll find that I've fallen victim of that severally, and I do not know even how to be able even to recover from it. That's why I said I admire those who have those stone-cold decisions. I don't know how they reached there. Maybe they can be able also to tell us. But something that I've been happy to know and I've been educated, I've been able to know is that you can always talk, you can always say, hey, I took this amount, but my target was this, but this one, which was unplanned for, came in between. I have done this, which means it has disrupted me kidogo. So what am I supposed to do? So when you look at that journey, you realize that when it comes to the discipline, to some extent, yes. If there are things that you can be able to ignore, of course you'll ignore. Because severally, I can say I've grown to some extent. There before, I could not be at least disciplined to this extent, but I cannot be able just to take some money or to take some amount at this stage, and I know when it reaches there, it was not so necessary for me to be able to pick it. When it reaches there, I'm the one who is going to lack the peace and wonder how am I going to fill that void and be able to give myself unnecessary concerns. So it will depend also with the weight of the issue. Is the issue dire? Is the issue really, really needed? Like really needy? I could not be able to avoid. So if it's something I can be able to avoid, I think we can be able, because at least we are okay on the humanitarian grounds, we are okay. You are eating okay? You slept okay? You have a phone? You are not walking naked? You are going to school?
When you're talking about a phone, are we talking about a phone just to communicate or a phone?
You were okay before this money, right? And this money was not meant for this phone. If we needed this phone, you could have told me so that at least I could have known in my budget, I need to scrap something. When I look at the miscellaneous, if it's not enough for the phone, then I don't have to cause myself peace. So also learn to speak prior and tell me what are your needs, because I also have the needs laid out. I need to be able to start this business. I need to be able to achieve and to be able to make returns. Maybe as I'm making returns, I'll buy you the phone. If I can be able to have the space. But if not so, then we have to cut our desires. We have to be disciplined. Are we communicating? Are we even watching WhatsApp? We are okay, right? Are we, like for example, even like, I would like to get a phone right now, but I have other things that I have prioritized. And then there's a place where I'll get the phone I want, so that I don't end up inconveniencing people. And of course, I have to lead by example. You know, the children of nowadays. When you tell them,
mommy do, mommy.
you got yourself a phone, and you told us we cannot be able to get ourselves a phone. So you have to lead by example and show them that mine is working, I'm communicating. I'm communicating through WhatsApp, but when I reach there, I'll be able to get what I need. So there's also this habit that children will be able to come and push you. So-and-so they're living like this, so-and-so they're living like this. So you find yourself, they want to pull you. It's like an emotional blackmail. Like you have to, extend your budget and to be that big mama. I'm cool. Where I am, we are going to be eating. Today we were eating ugali, skuma, and meat. There's a fruit there, right? That is balanced diet. We are okay. We'll do that pizza. If it is weekend, it will be weekend. So it is not like you'll be able to find yourself in many, as a mother, emotional blackmail, many things are coming up. So if it is not necessary, you don't need to give yourself some sickness in future that it is not necessary. So you also have to think about yourself.
Maybe after the break, I'll come back to you with this. You said about the emotional blackmail, and also before you were a business person. In a business field, like Mr. Getonga had mentioned about being conned. Have you been conned before, and how did you untag yourself from that? I'd like to know about that when you come back. Viewers, I hope you're learning as much as I am from this conversation. Send in your comments, your question across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be back shortly.
Nakukaribisha tena katika makao makuu yako katika ulimwengu wa michezo.
Yoga is not a sport. Yoga is actually a way of life.
Ukiona FIFA inaingilia kati, it means that the FIFA rules have been violated.
From day one akiingia kwa akademi yako, unamwambia masomo na talent lazima ziende. The moment nasikia masomo imeenda chini, hata time out. Hata hiyo time out kwa football account.
Wanawake ni wengi actually mpaka saa hizi tumekaa ni kama tumekuwa wanawake wamekuwa wengi kuliko wanaume.
Kuna wale ambao ni artistic.
Yes, wanapenda mambo ya kuigiza.
I'm coded to look for solutions.
You limit yourself, not the sport doesn't limit you.
We say a dedicated women only show that focuses only on women. Is it okay to go through your spouse's phone or your man's phone?
Yes and no.
No. Leo nakwambia mambo ni moto. Na kama si moto, ni moto sana.
Ukichungulia kaburi ni kifo definitely. But I saw ukiona hiyo simu itakustruggle.
Hapa ni kaburi.
Hiyo mambo ya kukati hapa hataki kushika.
Hiyo ni hatari sana.
Unaweza chukua umeshika ama hujashika. Hatataki itakuja kama wewe kushuka na hata.
Chenye unatafuta utakipata. Una haja gani? Hiyo hata ni poor self esteem.
Ni venye ati tunaweza achana juu ya simu. Mimi sitatoa watoto wangu kwa baba yao ati sababu anachati na wasichana.
Lakini usibaze kufika hapa.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about financial literacy and debt management. Just in case you're joining us, take a pen, take a notebook, send in your question across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa, or SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, Jennifer had asked a question about, have you ever been, you've said about being emotionally blackmailed by family members, by children, by friends. That happens a lot. But I want to understand, have you ever been conned? Or have you ever been in a close contact with someone who has been conned? And the Kiswahili beat that we hear, this is what the too good to be true slogan or statements or stories that you see now. This one is a good opportunity to pump all my money into, because we come up with a very interesting business idea, only to realize it was a story, and the money that you gave, thinking that you'll have a return in a short time, it's disappeared. And you're like, okay, where do I start from? Have you ever been in such a fix, or someone close to you has been in such a fix? And how did you work out, or the person that you helped to work out of that?
Wow, precious memories, right? Mm-hmm. They are precious because they leave a lesson you don't forget.
Great one.
You normally think you've been educated on being conned until you realize this field has no limit. You never know from what angles these people, these things will come from. Well, I could hear many times, like even my parents or even my family, they discuss about these conning avenues. So I thought I was good to go. I'm okay in the field. Bring it on. Yeah, they brought it on through a friend. I ordered goods from Mombasa. This is a person I know. So I pay prior, and I'm told the goods are coming and every single thing. So I'm supposed to receive them to Nairobi, in Nairobi as in at a certain point of time, and a client is waiting for them. Then this is a trustworthy person, this is a trustworthy friend, unless somebody fished their voices. But then I've already paid for the goods, I'm waiting day one, 24 hours, phones are going off. And this was quite a huge order. And then I wondered, what was this? And that person just disappeared. I don't know whether they changed citizenship or that they're still in Mombasa. Maybe they changed to Amina or another name to another one, because now if they are still there, because I wondered, because I thought I knew them. I don't know their home area, but it's a person you've gone quite a journey with. So you deal with, when you grow in business, you have people, you have your circle, so you know how you handle. So you know, you have me, you have you, you have him. For example, now when you have all of us, like you have that person, he can order this and that and that. So you're introduced to that person in that dimension, not in that much depth, like we know each other from childhood, from where you come from. So I know they deal with this, and I know when I've paid the goods, I'm going to get these goods. So I ended up paying for the goods, and after paying for those goods, I've never gotten them. I tried to follow them up, but there was no even way how you know how to follow. You realize I didn't know this person. So one lesson I learned is, when you are dealing with business, deal with people you know very well. How well familiar you are with them, even from where they come from, how you can find them, how easily you can locate them, not just from the trust of a friend. Not even forgetting even my sister, who I thought was a pro, she just got conned in front of me through M-Pesa, and I just saw 70,000 just leave like that. A guy comes just with good suit. This guy is smart. I mean, this person is just in the league of, you can look at them from shoe, from everywhere. And then you don't even know how they know you have the float. You don't even know how they know you in person, because how did they pass all these shops and just come to you? And then when I thought she's a pro, because she educated me on these things, all of a sudden, after she has given out the money, message will come, every single thing, it had left. Then I wondered, do I sympathize with her, or you are between those things, like, how did it happen? Were you awake? Yes, you didn't blink, you did it. So these things are happening, they are there, they are painful. So They teach you, that's why I tell you they are precious memories. They teach you on how to be really, really keen when you're running a business and to be able even to check the steps you're making. At least by the time now you release payment or by the time you do a transaction, you are very, very sure what you are doing. You are very sober and you can be able to follow the protocol. Do not even ignore whereby you are told, wait until the message comes to your phone. Please wait for that message to come to your phone. Your withdrawal is done. It is real. Check your balance. Be comfortable. If somebody is in a hurry, they can go. It is you who is going to go through the loss. So check the balances, check every single thing well, and then from there you can release the client. At least your business will be able to go on and you'll not be able at least to have one like, wow, how did this one happen? How did it get me? So it gets us when you think you know, you realize you don't know and the world keeps on teaching you. So this is a place where by day to day, you have to keep on just being alert of the steps you're taking in business.
Mr. Gitonga, maybe coming to you on the same. You mentioned about your clients that you work with them, a journey. And now, having mentioned that, also people being a victim of con and also working with them to identify how well of research they have done in terms of this business that they want to do. I'd like to know what criteria you use, and also in that, help us to understand what makes you to be outstanding amongst different company, amongst different organization that deals with what you deal with, that makes you outstanding in the market, that you mentioned 95% come back. What makes them come back and maybe unlike other places that they don't? Help us to understand in those two different.
First, especially when it comes to the SME or the business side, because we've got clients who come for business purposes. We have a very elaborate program. We call it Know Your Customer. First, Mwananchi takes time to know you, because we also have a lot of con men who come to look for money at Mwananchi. So we make sure we do a total 360. Once we are happy that, you know, we have sealed all the loopholes, then now we take the opportunity to also support you, deal with any, you know, fraudulent third parties who might come for you. As she said, she was struggling to understand how did these people know that I have this particular float at this particular moment. But you know, right now, especially in the era of the phone, and that's why you're finding even the data protection assets right now are very much alive. Because right now I live with Eunice's phone here. We've just had a nice setup on Chungu Jamii. The next thing, I'll give my salesperson your number, call Eunice, tell her, I've seen she has a nice car, can you bring it over? And I'll give you some commission when we give her the loan.
What?
Yeah. And because we've had a chat here, we've had that you want to go back to school and do your masters, you know, you need some 300,000 shillings to register at USIU. So we've already, this person already narrowed you down to where they'll hit you best. So you really need to have a very structured KYC in any business. There was a lady who came last week on Friday. She wanted to open a decorations business. And she had a very good supplier. And she was very excited. So when she sat on my lap, I asked her, have you done the KYC about this particular person? No, she was brought through a friend. We are in a chama, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what's her second name? Okay, I don't know. I'm like, yesterday she came back. You have to give her the money today. She told me, Gitonga, you are very right. That was a con. You know, the signs are they're very, you know, they're elaborate. Yeah, somebody who is rushing you into it. And I'll be Mwananchi, by the way, their TAT is 6 hours. Don't give them time. Quickly, the container, all of a sudden the container is in a hurry for clearance. I don't know what, you know, a lot of stories. You know, that's already here. So we try also to tell our clients. Then we've got the personal clients. And with all due respect to the mobile loans, and there are quite a number right now, and that's why you're finding the government is also trying to regulate them as much as possible. And the struggle is you'll find that somebody comes to borrow money from Mwananchi to pay another debt elsewhere, which we discourage a lot. Of course, it's your business if you want to borrow money and pay someone else, but we usually insist if you're borrowing money to pay another debt, whether it's a mobile debt, individual debt from your friends, etc., make sure at least 15% you either save it. If we're giving you 100,000, 85 you can pay your debt, 15 save it. Let it give you some, and we give you opportunities on how to go about it. And it happens especially, and one thing, and these are statistics maybe Kenyans should know, 85% of Kenyans live paycheck to paycheck. So you find by the time it's 21st, for those who are paid on 5th on the other month, you are extremely very broke. So you have to go to a mobile phone app, and depending on your, and right now because of the systems, if you borrow from mobile app A and you don't pay, and you borrow from B, you become serialized. You can't borrow from C, or they reduce your limit. So already it gives you a headache. The interest is also very high. So again, one thing we usually encourage, if it's not necessary to get into debt, don't. Get into debt when you have a proper plan beyond it. Why, just the second question on why Mwananchi? We believe in the client experience. And it's a journey. Client needs change every day. We have, parastatals who work with us. We call it the check-off business. So you find the police, the various, government agencies. Their staff can come, borrow money from us, and then they're deducted from their pay slips. So again, we want to make sure that the experience is seamless. We are concerned to know, yes, you are employed, you are a policeman, but what are you going to do with this money? And most of them appreciate any support. Yeah, some will tell you it's school fees, others tell you, I had friends talking that Mwananchi is offering check-off loans. Hata mimi nikasema, wacha nije pia mimi, so how much money do you want? Nataka kama 200,000, unaenda kuzifanyia nini? Asijafikiria.
What?
Tunamwambia sawa, we will approve the loan, lakini hatukupatii pesa. Okay. Wewe nenda kwanza, fikiria, kama huhitaji, come cancel the loan. And the human nature is we are needy. Atarudi saa 8. We are at 10, atarudi saa 8. Maybe you went sat with the wife. Mwambie, can I open a salon now? It has been pending for a long time. Atakuja kwambie, nipatie zile pesa zangu. Enye uli approve asubuhi, niende. How the journey works. The following day, there was no plan. Mama amefungua salon ndio. Amekopesha watu, nini. Salon ishafungwa. Payslip yake inaendelea kukatwa. Ana kitu cha kupeleka nyumbani. Bibi huko anaanza kumstress sasa. Tuko kwa chungu cha jamii, by the way. So tunaongea mambo ya jamii. Bibi anamwambia, sasa wewe mwanaume wa aina gani? Una kazi, sijui nini, hatuna chakula. The next thing, psychologically you are affected.
True.
You can't perform well in your society crumbles. You have 10 there in Mwananchi. Tomorrow there's another company doing the same, another bank. By the time you realize, that whole society is collapsing because of a simple debt, which Mwananchi could have actually told you, if it's not necessary, hold on first. Nenda fikiria. And right now, 35% of loans taken, most people do not have a plan. I'm talking from a Mwananchi perspective. They don't have a plan for it. Mtu anataka chukua pesa tu aende, alipe madeni nini, afurahishe wengine, aende. One thing, especially when it comes to vacations, it's a product also which we are considering to bring in. Vacations are supposed to be saved for. Ukitaka kupeleka familia yako Mombasa, Seychelles, wapi, mwisho wa mwaka, Naivasha, anza January. Wekelea kwa bank kama sako. Sasa after that, you don't have to borrow at the end of the year to go for a vacation. We've got actually...
Do you have people who borrow for vacation?
Actually, yeah, the statistics are there. People borrow and it's because of pressure of society. Umeona jirani yako family imeenda Naivasha, imeenda Mombasa, kesho pia wewe watoto wanakuambia mama, baba, the way she was saying, that pressure of mbona kina Gitonga wameenda Mombasa, sisi tumebaki hapa, you know. So you go to Mwananchi, ni kopesheni, kupeleka wapi hizi pesa? Nataka kupeleka familia yangu Mombasa Christmas wakajienjoy, na pesa ya mkopo na January fees inakungoja. Kwambia sawa, si wapeleke tu lunch town, wale waelewe kila mtu. But again, you have to work with your clients. So the difference is that client experience we offer to them. Wao utembea, wao jaribu. Mtu ataenda hapa, ende hapa, lakini mwishowe atakuja aseme Mwananchi sasa nisaidie.
Okay. From YouTube we have a question. He's saying, I took this motorbike loan, which I paid, and only remained with 20K. The company came, took my motorbike without considering that I was remaining the remainder is less than what I had paid this far. I was sharing with her, telling her of the experiences. This is one. Someone I was talking before and telling them that we are coming to do this kind of show, and they were like, I had this issue. I was taking a mortgage. I had paid this far, remaining with 30,000, and the mortgage was 1 point something. I've paid the greater part, and here they are coming to now take back the house with a less of 30,000, and simply because I'm in a fix, and I've paid the greater part. I'd want to understand and also help our viewers to understand what makes these things that you forget I've paid the greater part of like 95% and remaining with 5%. I've been paying well diligently, and now I'm in this fix, not able to pay this remainder. Not that I'm not going to pay, but I'm just in a fix. Why can't you understand this fix and this small amount, and I'll be able to pay? Give me more time. Why pressure me and I'm remaining with those so little, and we have been working swiftly with the match? That is one. Another one was I have paid. You're very good, like you had mentioned. You've seen it's strategic, and now here I am, and I'm like, okay, I wanted this, and this is a heaven-sent solution, and I have fallen into the trap. And now, when it comes to paying back, the same friendship tone that you're using, it's no longer the same. Tables have turned, and now you're enemies. And I'm like, okay, were you waiting for this car? Were you waiting for this thing that I've put as collateral? Now I'm going back to zero. Because using the example of this viewer, the motorbike maybe was the source of income, remaining with 20K. You've taken. Now where do I start from? What do I tell my family? And also someone else is asking about I have a query. What are the requirements for a car financing loan? I have a dream car valued at 300K shillings. Before you touch on that, and also other question that you are going to read, from your viewpoint of what you've just been talking about all this, what do you have to say in regards of the same? Having to learn so much from Mr. Gitonga, what would you say is your take home as where you're seated? The notes of the things that you've learned so far in regards to literacy when it comes to finances and debt management. Given say that we're being told or advised that don't take a loan unless it is necessary. Answering that, have you ever been in a fix where you see now a loan is the only solution? Like I'd mentioned before, there are some people who say, how do you survive without a loan?
Without a loan, yeah.
What is your take? Would you survive without a loan, or are you the person who says, how do you survive without a loan?
Before, I would have asked like them, but right now, I can do well.
Thank you.
Because that loan, I have oxygen, right?
Yeah.
I am eating. I'm okay, I'm dressed, I have a good place to sleep. And the problems and situations that come, they don't need to be solved by loan. Some of them you can just be able to figure out, because through even learning, you'll be able even to learn a lesson on how to be able to avoid some mistakes here and there, so that you don't find yourself in that fix. Well, loan is no solution for everything. Loan is a blessing, and at the same time, it can also turn against you. So if it comes a time that you have to take a loan, I would also request somebody to be able to do proper research. Consult your spouse. Consult somebody who knows about finance. Share what you want to do. Put it on the table. Do your mathematics. Do your everything, research, statistics. Learn even from people who have failed before. What mistakes did you make when you did this? How is this market? How is it working lately? Will it work for me? How is it doing? Learn every single thing well. Now, when you are venturing into this loan and you are taking your sure, and of course, when you take this loan, something also I learned is, don't just take the loan and just put it all in business. As they are going to give you a breather in between, you can add yourself a breather by even paying months before from the same money to give you time to recover. Give it like 6 months and you'll be able to have good returns by grace if for real you've done a good arrangement and God helps you. Let's talk of nothing is going to hit around, let's say like along the way, but also this breather that you were able to pay prior before they came to you, it will be able to give you time to figure out what to do in this time. And one thing that I can be able to take home with me, I am happy, is they journey with you. They don't give you like, you know that barter trade. You just take, go home, I go home. Let's meet when the D-Day, judgment day comes. And then, where's my money? You understand? They are journeying with you. And you can be able to have a place, a corridor where you can meet and talk. Should any challenge rise up, and maybe they can be able to see how to ease up things for you, so for you to be able to be boosted back, and also to be a continuous client that is forming a long-term relationship with them. So I'm learning something totally different. And yes, I can stay without a loan. It is not necessary. If I have to take it, it has to be for a purpose, for a cause, for an achievement that I can say, yes, I took that loan, and this is what I achieved with that loan. I am happy. And from that loan, I grew to this. Because I believe it's not the part whereby we can just fear loans like they are monsters. If we are able to be given the right education pertaining them, then you can be able to face them with a different perspective and be able to achieve great heights with the same. You grow from one place to another, and you can say, I started with a cup. Now I had this thermos. From this thermos, I had this. Now I have a business that I'm doing catering. You grew up like that. And it takes the discipline. So then, I can be able to say, yes, I can do without. But when I have to take, it has to do with a cause, a purpose, a strategy, good statistics, consultation, name it. So that when I am taking it, I'm not going to give myself high blood pressure. I'm not taking high blood pressure at home with me. I'm taking sobriety and peace. And also advancement, I can be able to achieve what I wanted to achieve, because loans are meant for you to achieve something you wanted to achieve. And if you don't achieve, apart from even failing, you'll also end up being so frustrated, and you'll begin to blame yourself, and you begin to open other portals that were necessary. So yes, I can do without. And when I have to think deeply, arrange, be disciplined, check my desires, check everything, put everything on check, then I can go for this loan.
Wow, thank you so much. Coming to you with a question I've asked, maybe adding this one, this one is so bitter and saying, this loan guys walinitenda, stakangi hata kusikia story zao. Walifanya nyumba yangu ifagiliwe na tukakosana na mzee. Those are some of the grievances with the people out with in the society. Maybe answer that for us.
Again, it's towards the same, what we are discussing today, financial literacy. Kwa nini alichukua loan in the first place? Was it necessary? Alikuwa amejipanga kivipi kuchukua huu mkopo? Because most of the time you'll find that loan money, especially if you had not planned for it, you will waste it. And this is money, it's not your money, it's money you have borrowed. Yeah, previously I just shared that even if you're borrowing money to pay somebody else, make sure that at least 15% umesave, umeweka kando. Ndio kesho hata ukikuja mwananchi you want to negotiate, utawaambia kama huyo wa motorbike, kuna motorbike nyingi. We also give motorbike loans, but 65% pay well na wanamaliza, wengine hata wananunua ya pili, lakini utapata asilimia like 35%, 35 don't pay back, kwa sababu hiyo discipline hakuna. Utapata either mpangilio wako, the way you had planned your journeys is not elaborate. Either you drive your motorbike when you're, when you're drunk, you've got an accident, it's detained 2-3 days at the police. There's always a story for these people, and I'm very ready to share, happy to share some of these statistics. People who don't pay some of this, of course there are eventualities where, life happens, there were some negative happenings, but a good percentage were not disciplined in the business, like especially the motorbike. You find like 1 week or 2 motorbikes have been in the police because of one big fighting, whatnot. You drove the bike when you are drunk, imeshikwa na kesi kotini. Huku mwananchi bado, your debt is still pending. No one will pay it for you. You didn't even take time to come and say, guys, my bike was, detained by the cops because of an accident. Most of them disappear. They decide to disappear, or they remove the security gadgets from them and they scatter, which is the wrong way of doing, because it will catch up with you. So my advice to such is to go back to the loan company, talk to them. I'm sure most of them are willing to listen. Yeah, most of them will listen. If you approach them in a usijifiche. You see, another habit of it's a psychological debt issue. Ukiwa na deni, today wewe maybe hauna deni. Lakini leo ukinikopa pesa na tuko hapa tunafanya kazi na wewe, unione kwa corridor, utajificha. You will hide yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. So
it happens.
Yeah, and you see, once you start hiding, the company which you took the money from, or the Shylock or anyone else, they'll blacklist you. Watasema, Gitonga, ulichukua pesa yangu kaniahidi kunilipa tarehe 16 May. You've not paid my money. I had a budget, a plan for it. I will look for you. Na nikikutafuta itakuwa story hiyo moja. Yeah. That means you did not honor or keep your commitment towards that aspect. So I'll encourage Kenyans to also look at it positively. Once you incur debt, manage, especially with the current financial climate, be very careful on how you budget your money and your financials. Itakuondolea stress nyingi sana.
Wow. I feel that we cannot exhaust this. I feel that we have a lot to educate the society about, but briefly, I'm being told that you are out of time. Less than 30 seconds, and I mean less than 30 seconds, starting with you, Jennifer, your parting shot.
Well, on my side, I could say one thing on financial literacy: be sober, be focused, know what you want to do, and be able at least to know your weaknesses to be able to master on how to do your finances. At least from there, you'll be growing from somewhere.
Thank you. Mr. Gitonga?
Mine is to encourage Kenyans to continue learning on financial literacy. It will decrease anxiety, and you'll have some better, I call it peace of mind, when it comes to, your day-to-day lifestyle. Yeah, so
before I wrap it up, with this is a yes or no. As a Kenya society, are we there yet? Can you say, are we there when it comes to financial literacy? Are we well educated about how to manage our finances?
No, we are not. And that's why we welcome you to Mwananchi Credit. We take the journey together.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming. I've learned so much. Viewers, I hope you've learned as much as I have. I hope you've taken notes. Thank you for sending in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. Let's continue this conversation offline at YouTube, Facebook, name it. Send in your question, your comments at To The Bwanda before our social media handles. It's GBS TV Africa. I'm your host, Eunice Mugo. Till next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.